Hello everyone, I'm Lee, I'm an intuitive, and every month I take the pulse on what might be showing up for you psychologically, emotionally, energetically. This is the October energy update, and 3 of the 8 themes we're going to be looking at this month are you cultivating your personal connection to light? The battle between dark and light is taking some major twists and turns this month. And lastly, other side and cosmic communication continues to increase for many. We'll be taking a look at these 3 and 5 other themes inside the full energy update, so stay tuned.
Pause. Remember. Return to yourself. A sacred recalibration, a channel opened, a frequency remembered. Will your soul tune in?
Hello everyone, you just had a glimpse inside Initiation, which is my annual channeled mystery school. It's a deep dive and we're doing it again this year, year 5. And we begin on October 22nd, so we'd love for you to join us if it feels true for you. We'll give you a bit more of a sneak peek at the end of this update. But firstly, welcome to October. We are rapidly moving through 2025, and as I've alluded to on prior updates, we're coming into a very thick period where the energetics of the world will be speaking to us loud and clear. But at the same time, what that does for us on a personal level is it creates rapid healing, rapid shifts. And in today's themes, we're going to take a look at that. So firstly, I hope you're doing well out there. Thank you to all of you who told me how you were doing in the comments last month. I read every single one. So if you do feel to share with me how you're doing in the middle of all of this, please leave a comment. And of course, do subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. I do not allow adverts to run in the middle of this energy update. And so we are a self-funded channel, and it really helps us with our work and our mission to reach as many people as this might benefit if you become a subscriber. It's free to do. You just hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and then you will receive all of my free videos here at YouTube. So, theme number 1. Are you cultivating your personal connection to light? Are you cultivating your personal connection to light? So the message for this theme is your personal light versus the light that you are seeking or finding in the external world are 2 different things. Cultivate your own connection as much as you can right now and seek it inside, not just outside. The other message in this is hold your nerve and hold your balance where and when possible, because these times, as we know, are very chaotic. There is a lot going on, there is a lot moving through. So cultivating your personal connection to light, what does this really mean? I'm a huge advocate of us having our friends or our loved ones or something that in the outside world keeps us afloat, keeps us alive. But the message that came through when I was gathering the themes today is we really need to be working on our own light right now. So that means your own personal time, your own personal moments, whether it's meditation, whether it's sitting quietly with a piece of music, whether it's telling yourself as a non-negotiable, yes, I am going to go to my local park for 20 minutes in the middle of the day. We need to find these moments where we're in our personal zone. It's amazing to have other people outside us infuse us. It's wonderful to get a hug. It's wonderful to do any kind of practice with another person or in the outside world that lifts us and infuses us. But one of the themes that came up in my Energy Mastery London weekend, which we did a couple weeks ago, and thank you to all of you who came. It was an incredible weekend, and thank you for all of you who joined in on live stream too. There was a message from my guides about take 5 minutes a day. Just 5 minutes where you sit and be in your own zone. And this is very important because there's a lot that we're receiving right now. And we don't get to receive that if we're only immersed in external stimulus, in external people. It's very important. So, are you cultivating your personal connection to light? Your personal light versus the light you are seeking or finding in the external world. So you might say, actually, I'm doing great because I've got great friends, I've got great support. Well, brilliant. If you can now cultivate just personal moments in your day where you sit with yourself, your soul, your spirit. How is your soul doing with what is going on down here? Because I think it's one thing to have a conversation with someone or to, go online and read other people's comments and what they're feeling and thinking. It's another thing to be able to sit and go, how am I actually doing? What is moving through me right now? Where am I in this soup that we are in of transformation, of challenge, of difficulty, of lightness? There's so much going on, and it moves and changes like the weather, depending on how you feel, depending on what you expose yourself to, depending on who you speak to. So, very important right now for you to be cultivating your personal connection to light. And as I speak to you about that, you might think, well, that's a little abstract. What is my personal connection to light? For some people, it's sitting quietly and reading a book, not necessarily being online with the news of the world, but reading something or focusing on something or sitting. It's a very self-introverted message about your personal connection to light. So what can you do that is a little more introverted, a little more you with you and you with your soul? That's a very important message during these times where all of us are having to hold our nerve, find our balance, find our 0 point in the middle of all of this. So think about that for yourself this month. What could you do in October that could give you little pockets of light throughout your day, aside from people, places, things that bring that to you? Okay, theme number 2, allow yourself to love and be love. Allow yourself to love and be love, especially in the face of division and separation. We're seeing so much of that division energy. I mean, we've just seen it this month with several different tragic events that have unfolded. And you see people immediately wanting to rush to argue about them and annihilate the other, annihilate the person who has a different opinion to you, blame, shame, judge. It's going round, it's a contagious energy, and unfortunately, those energies are energies that will regress us. They will not evolve us as a species, as a people, as a consciousness. And often the flames of them are fanned by design. There are certain groups and certain people who want us to think that the world is doomed and that we as humanity are doomed. And that is something that you're seeing out there a lot right now. So that doesn't mean stick your head in the sand about the very real issues that we have. That's not what I'm saying. But there is something here about allowing yourself to love and be love, even in the face of times like these. And in fact, more than ever, more important than ever in times like these. So are you allowing yourself to love? Are there things in your life that you can say, yeah, I love this? It might be you're brilliant at gratitude, and so you're very grateful that you have a roof over your head and you can make yourself a cup of tea in the house in the morning. And that is something to be grateful for when we know that there are other people on the planet who don't necessarily have that gift. Equally, it might be bigger than those smaller moments for you. It might be that you're recognizing you're loving this stage of your life that you're in, or you can actively appreciate your health or what's going on for you. It's very important to allow yourself to feel love for your life, love for your experience, and then love for others. So are we allowing ourselves to be love? Love in action. So the message here was, especially in the face of the opposite, it will feel easier for many of you than ever before to love and to be love in the world. Division energy dissolves when enough love is present. Division energy dissolves when enough love is present. Now, there's a caveat to this, because that message came straight from my guides. And if we want to pull that sentence apart, that division energy dissolves when enough love is present. We have to be specific, case by case specific. So if you've got a very angry person in front of you who is determined to have a fight with you, and you are not the love that they are seeking, needing, or wanting, yeah, I wouldn't just keep pummeling them with love. I would recognize the signals. Okay, this is not a place that I'm welcome. I'm clearly being pushed away by this person. So it's not about forcing our love onto other people or believing that other people are wrong if they can't accept it. One of the things I learned, as a healer all these years is that we never know who we're supposed to be for someone else, and we should be careful of thinking we do know, because we know very little. We actually know very little. And what I learned over the years was there will be some people for whom I might be a breakthrough in a conversation, and there will be other people who won't really hear what I'm saying, but maybe 3 years down the line, they will have heard it from 6 other people in 6 other ways, and it will be their time to have a breakthrough then. So it doesn't diminish the fact that I was just a very small part of their path. So ask yourself, in any of these scenarios where you're perhaps trying to bring love to either unloving people or people who, let's say they're stuck. They're in something, they're in fear, they're in judgment, they're in blame, they're in anger. We all know what those feelings are like because we've all experienced them, and we probably will experience them again at some point. The difference is when you're conscious, you aren't hostage to those feelings. When you're conscious, you tend to notice them when they come up and you're like, oh wow, I need to breathe, I need to sit with this. What is this that's moving through me? But when you're unconscious, you just feel the feeling and you either want to throw it at someone or you want to get rid of it or outrun it. There are all kinds of ways that people try and deal with their feelings if they don't know how to allow their feelings. So ask yourself, was I as loving as I could be in that situation? Yes, I was. Was it received? Didn't seem like it was, but that's okay. That's not my part of the equation. My part of the equation is, was I as loving as I could be? And sometimes being loving is keeping your mouth shut. When you're standing in front of someone who is having a meltdown, you sometimes go, yeah, they don't need my words. They just need me to stand here with a slight smile or love in my eyes for them and just to wait patiently or just to, feel empathy for them, whatever it is. So allow yourself to love and to be love. I found this message interesting given I know many of you. I've met you over the years. You're very loving people. I know very clearly who you are. But at the same time, I thought, this is an interesting message for us then. That this is a time where we can be love more in the world, and it's easier for us to do it perhaps than it ever has been. And will we also allow ourselves to feel love for life, for the other, compassion for this very difficult time where a lot of people, understandably, are losing their, stuff. Understandably. And we've all been there. We've all been in that trying times. So compassion and allowing yourself to love and to be love. Okay, theme number 3. I feel like this one has come up a little bit over the last couple of years. It's just here in different words this month. Strong winds of external change will be ricocheting into our personal lives. So strong winds of external change will be ricocheting into our personal lives. So in simple terms, what this means is if we're standing near a group of people who are arguing and we witness it, there is an energetic relay that we pick up on. Well, on a planet that's currently having a series of meltdowns, both in the systems, in people's emotional temperature, in the fighting that's going on, in some of the tragedy and some of the suffering, it can't not ricochet back into your personal experience, even if you yourself are not currently finding yourself in any of those circumstances. So for those of you who are, let's say, living in a more peaceful spot in the world or in your life right now, don't be surprised about how much unexamined stuff will be rising to the surface in you, because the unexamined is rising to the surface globally. Things we have not seen, known, acknowledged, or been aware of are rising to the surface globally, and it's a shock for a lot of people. But this has an internal effect on everybody. So the effect for you will be an acceleration of healings, clearings, clarity, and epiphanies. So you might be healing stuff very fast, quite intense, like a purge that moves through you, and you're like, wow, why am I going through this thing from when I was 13? Why is this coming up? Because it's time to move out. Anything that has previously been unexamined, perhaps because you didn't want to look at it, or more likely, you may have looked at it but not known how to let it through and out. There is a flush moving through all of us at the moment that's fast. So anything unexamined that is rising to the surface in you is a mirror of the unexamined rising to the surface globally. So healings, clearings, clarity, and epiphanies. You might be having epiphanies about a relationship dynamic you've been in for years. And you go, oh my God, I see why I keep attracting this. I've suddenly figured out what part of me keeps attracting this. That's an epiphany, and that will lead to healing because you will change the pattern. There's an enormous amount of generational and lineage healing going on right now. It's massive, and it's happening across the planet. So you too will be finding yourself in that. So if you're someone who perhaps thinks you've got all your healing neatly tidily organized, and you're going, oh my God, why is everything a bit of a mess in me? Why do I feel a bit more? Don't worry, it's par for the course. But at the same time, support yourself and ask yourself, oh, this is clearly a time where I need to give this a bit of time or a bit of space or a bit of thought. I know for me, my challenge is always, one of my ongoing themes is, am I leaving enough space for the unexpected? Because, you know, there's a lot going on for all of us in our lives, and there are so many things that come in that are unexpected. So that's one of my, key learnings and things right now. Am I leaving enough space for me to have these unexpected moments or processes? So some of you may relate to that. Okay, theme number 4, the global theme of freedom under the microscope. The global theme of freedom under the microscope. Now, you could argue that this has been evident for many of us for a long time, particularly the last 5 years, but even before that. But right now, there is a kind of nexus point happening for the planet as a whole around freedom of expression, freedom of movement, and human rights. And there will continue through October and November, we're going to see some big challenges to these areas. And we've been seeing it recently. It's been very much a part of this last month globally, and it's continuing. And the question always is, what will we allow and what will we stand for? What will we say yes to? And this is a really pivotal time around all of this. It's not the end of the global theme of freedom being under the microscope, but October and November are going to just turn up the heat on it so that more people see it, more people know it, more people understand it. That is when there starts to become more of a separation and a change in compliance. I'm not saying that a lot of people won't want to be compliant for the sake of safety or because of fear, but the Z's always said that you only need 30% of the planet to be awake to some of the issues and the challenges. The Z's are my guides, by the way, to see the shift go the other way. And this was a few years ago, and they said that at that point we were kind of in the early to mid 20%. I know for sure that more and more people are beginning to wake up to see through what's going on and what is being done, what is being told, what is being said. Of course, it's very hard to discern truth right now, and that's by design. There is a design to confuse us. But what we are seeing is more and more people waking up, getting it, seeing it. Sometimes they need emotional time to adjust. But there are a growing number of people seeing the distortion in our world. And equally, there are many visionaries right now who are seeing a different future and a different world for us, a different possibility, which of course we're rarely ever offered. We're only offered doom and gloom. And we need to pay attention to that. That's not exactly what we would call high vibration leadership. So we're in this time, and the global theme of freedom is under the microscope right now. So you may also be feeling that in your personal life. not just because of your place in the world or our freedom in the world or lack of it, depending on who you are, where you are, but also just in your own inner psyche and your soul. The theme of freedom is up. Okay, theme number 5, separation from the old system is what is cultivating more people going within. So separation from the old system. This means the way things used to be, the way the world used to look, how people thought the world was. As there is an increasing understanding that that is not only no longer holding people, but perhaps never was in the way that it was promising, it's cultivating more and more people going within, having to ask questions of themselves, go in and have a spiritual experience. Whatever that spirituality is for you, whatever your higher power is, whatever the name is for that, whatever it looks like. But people are being woken up to the power within. And so what I want to say about that is it's not a linear path of ease that we are in. It's confusing, it can be challenging, and it asks a lot of us. So honor that dance and cultivate your connection to light. I think those of us who've been spiritual seekers and awakened for a long time on the planet, we know that the journey of healing is not, it's not some kind of Disneyland. It's definitely got its ups and downs, and there are dips and valleys. And so we're seeing a lot of that going on right now, but there are more and more people beginning to go, oh, I have a power in me that I didn't even know existed. And that power is not a personal power, it's connection to universal power. This realm that we are in, I mean, even this incredible place I'm standing in, which I love these trees, these guardians, this little circle of these ancient trees that I'm standing in. The power you feel when you're here is magnificent. They are emitting, they are transmitting, and we get to connect with them and relate with them. So there's a lot of people right now, whether they're having an awakening through nature, having an awakening through a mental health breakdown that makes them go and get therapy for the first time in their life, whether they're looking into spirituality, the universe, people are seeing things differently. And so it's a tender time when a lot of people are doing that, because it's not always an easy ride. It can be disarming and destabilizing. So some of you will probably be supporting your friends through their opening, whatever their opening looks like, and however it's characterized for them. It will be unique for everybody. But separation from the old system is what is cultivating more people going within right now. Theme number 6, the battle between dark and light on the planet is taking some major twists and turns. Sudden turns and changes, meaning what seems bad initially will also upshift and self-correct in many cases. Stay the distance. What happens at first may not be the end result. I spoke about this 2 months ago. It came through in an energy update, and I have been seeing it. I've been seeing a news headline, and of course not all the news headlines, for example, but I'm seeing headlines in the world where you go, ooh, that doesn't look good. And then a week later, it's changed or it's course corrected. There is definitely an energy of that at work. Remember, the narrative that we're often fed is very low vibration, and it has a certain frequency range to it. The good is not being reported there. But if you keep your eyes open and you feel what's going on, you will see a lot of positive things happening within people, within systems and organizations, and you will also see attempts by the dark to control or oppress get quickly reversed or hindered. So again, this is not to say, great, we can all lie down and think everything's fine. I mean, wouldn't that be lovely? But it is to say, be careful of catastrophic thinking. I meet a lot of people who will, because everyone, I always say this, there is no such thing as a spiritual type. A spiritual person is as diverse as any human being. They have different ideas, beliefs. You've got some people who call themselves spiritual who are wildly different in their thoughts or approach or way of being to someone else who calls themselves spiritual. But I meet a lot of people who catastrophize. Not so much in my personal life, but I'm just aware of those murmurings out there. I'm aware of people who follow spirituality and they're betting on doom. They're saying, oh, well, it's all going to go to hell anyway. And I'm like, that's really interesting. How do you know? You're not dead yet. So, until we're dead, until we've gone through our life, we don't really know fully what's going to play out here. And it's very interesting to put all your energy towards the negative or the bad. This is contagious, by the way, so be careful of it because it's going round. Yeah, we have to be really disciplined. And if you yourself feel really negative, fine, that's where you're at. And for some reason, that's serving you in your soul growth. I don't know why, but it is. So maybe you can trust you're there for a reason, but it would be good to examine, why do I think this way? Why am I so convinced? There are a lot of people out there who will try and convince you that everything is already gone to hell. And I do not believe that. I do not believe that's who we are, that's what we are. What I'm too aware of in both my experience of life and also all the amazing people I've met over the years, there are incredible acts of transformation happening all the time. And we have to see those because they are part of life too. So the battle between dark and light is taking some major twists and turns. I see more people than I think is good for people sitting watching television deciding on the ending of the movie. They're like, oh yeah, the dark's gonna win. And I'm like, okay, it's a very, it's an interesting paradigm. I didn't even like writing the sentence battle between dark and light because I think it's oversimplistic, but that's what came through. So I trust most of you are more nuanced in the same way I would be when I look at these kinds of things. I don't just take anything as a blanket statement. So the battle between dark and light is not over. And it's taking some major twists and turns. So be careful who you listen to. Be careful about your own mind and what your own mind convinces you of. And usually when we're a bit low or we're a bit tired or we've just had something bad happen to us in our life, we're not necessarily as positive about things. And so we have to pay attention to that too. Okay, final two themes. Systems chaos on a global level and lessons around the illusion of material safety. Systems chaos on a global level and lessons around the illusion of material safety. So, systems chaos is designed to awaken people and wake people up. Victim mentality and fear, because of systems chaos, is the danger here. Unconscious fear is very active in people right now. Those who are conscious are here to help and assist those who are not yet there. So, unconscious fear, what does that look like? It's when you get flooded with fear and you immediately are headless and you don't know, I could sit with my body, I need to move this through my body. The fear starts believing what it was just told and it gets very heady and it gets very anxious. That's very common out there in the world and a lot of people haven't yet examined their energy system enough to know that, oh yeah, we can move through fear, we can move through love. It's a dance. We're all learning. We're all doing our best, trying to balance ourselves as much as possible. So the systems chaos that we're seeing is designed to awaken people and wake people up. It's interesting. I wrote this theme this morning and then I thought, oh yeah, there were quite a few things that we saw in the month of September that were systemic chaos. And I think part of what and the Z's are confirming it now, it's also to show people the illusion of the system. It's really designed to help those people who think that the system is being controlled flawlessly by a small group of individuals and the rest of us are just victims of that. It's not that simple on Earth anymore. The energetics are really intense now and everyone is being bumped around, including those who might want to control. So, systems chaos on a global level and lessons around the illusion of material safety. I once met a really brilliant guy and he put a coin in my hand from a country that he was serving in the military in, and he had left the military. And he said to me, this currency was really valuable until a few countries decided it wasn't going to be, and they completely devalued the country. So this illusion of material safety is only as true as a system that is holding and protecting us. We see this happen to countries that go through devastating acts of war. They lose everything. So the illusion of material safety is not necessarily something that can keep any of us safe. A healthy, more benevolent, lighter, brighter planet is actually what will be the thing. And I think there are going to be, according to the message, there are going to be some evident examples of that in the next month or two, and that will continue to wake up those who perhaps are leaning into the illusion of material safety. We're all being asked to see this very differently, and until we all see this very differently, we won't necessarily wake up from the spell. So, finally, theme number 8, other side and cosmic communication continues to increase for many. This is another theme that's been coming up so much this year. Other realms, dimensions, beings, and passed over loved ones are getting stronger in volume on Earth. So you might be hearing messages from loved ones. You might be having cosmic connection. You might be hearing your guides. You might be tapping into your psychic and intuitive abilities. This doesn't stop us, from going to the grocery store or the supermarket or, having to clean the house or any of that stuff. But it starts to become a part of your life. I'm someone who's lived in both worlds for a long, long time. I don't exclude the human world, even though sometimes people think you do. They go, oh, you're a channeler, so you must just be living on that dimension all the time. And I'm like, nope, that's not my truth. My truth is both realities. And one of the things my guides have said is more and more people will begin to be able to open up that reality, that dimension. And it's coming in fast because of the consciousness on Earth right now and because of the time on Earth. So, a meaty October energy update. Quite a lot to digest in there. But if I had to wrap it up and say anything about this time is the ride isn't slowing down. The ride isn't slowing down. So we need to make sure that we are balancing ourselves. It's a message I know I've given for 13 years in different ways at different times, but it's so important. So I really hope you're looking after yourself as best you can. Or if you're someone who needs to be looked after right now because you haven't quite got it in you to do it yourself, I hope you're allowing in support. An affirmation would be, I invite angelic and human support into my life right now. I allow myself to receive angelic and human support in my life right now. Okay, thank you for tuning in, everyone. Again, please hit subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. It really supports everything we do here. Do let me know how you're doing in the comments. And if you took initiation in previous years, let people know how you experienced initiation. Because it's a mystery school, it's always a little hard for me to describe, but we'll give you a sneak peek inside initiation in just a moment. The other thing that we have going on this month is myself and my brother Mark Harris just began Next Level Healer coaching. I did my first live call last week, and for 6 months, myself and Mark will be holding space for healers. And it's for people who took my Next Level Healer course, and we're having a brilliant time already holding space for and learning from and with all of the healers that we've got in the coaching program. There's a forum, you can learn from each other, and one of the things I know from my own life and my own work is mentorship is so important. So that's why I'm offering something I've never offered in all my years of doing this, but it feels great to be doing. So if you want to join, Next Level Healer coaching will remain available until the end of the month, October. So you still have time to join if it feels right for you. We released a remix album called Mantramorphs a couple of weeks ago. It's all of the medicine mantras that we have released so far, remixed by brilliant artists Sean Lukes, Entheo, and John Patton. We even released a video called I Call Back My Power, which was a moment for me of challenging myself to get out of my comfort zone and receive the invite from brilliant filmmaker Shauna Walker to do one of her dance portraits with her. That came out a couple of weeks ago, and it was a very shamanic experience for me to embody calling back my power in that way. So I'm so glad so many of you enjoyed that video and you're enjoying the album. It puts a bit more beat into the mantras for those of us who like to move or just you want a different energy moving through your house with the mantras. We do have a limited number of CDs available, and of course it's everywhere on streaming. The portal is my monthly members community. I go live in there every month and give many different tools of support every month for sensitives, for healers, for intuitives, for those waking up to themselves. So we've been going for 12 years now, and it's a beautiful community. So join us in the portal if you'd like to go deeper with my teachings and deeper with this kind of work. And I will leave you with a glimpse inside initiation. So can't wait to get started on initiation with you. See you all inside Next Level Healer Coaching, the portal, or perhaps back here next month for the energy update for November. Big love from England for now, and take good care of yourselves, everyone.
When the world gets loud, we lose touch with our inner voice. In the quiet, transformation can begin. You are invited to experience Lee's Guides the Z's as he embarks on Initiation, a transformative 4-week mystery school.
I've been channeling my guides, the Z's, for 26 years now, and they bring in cosmic knowledge and frequencies of healing that open your energy field.
The unique piece that Lee brings to the channeled content is that he's an intuitive and an empath. He feels very deeply what others are feeling, and he's able to take that channeled content and then give you the practical plug-in for the 3D or for your everyday life.
I didn't know what to expect at all. I really was lost and confused. I feel like I'm finally becoming unblocked, and I'm opening myself up to so many opportunities that I didn't even know were possible.
It's offered a sense of safety and community that I didn't have before.
I wanted a little gas to keep going, and I feel like I've gotten jet fuel.
Over 4 weeks, Lee shares channeled wisdom from his guides, the Z's, along with a weekly calibration video where he helps you understand and apply the teachings in your everyday life. You'll also be welcomed into a heart-centered community space for support and reflection, with soulful music woven in to deepen your experience.
We all go through this frequency shift together. My job is to listen and to be a conduit for what wants to come through.
For an expanded, channeled transformation with Lee's Guides the Z's, join us for Initiation 2025.